There's a power in the wind that will sail you home to the peace you know within. When you sing your song, all of nature will join in to bless you in your mission here on earth, to help you in your service here on earth. When you sing your song, you can feel the rising tide, lifting all things up, and there's nowhere left to hide. When you sing your song, you become alive inside, to bless you in your mission here on earth, to help you in your service here on earth. So you ask the rising tide and the power in the wind, and you know that there's no way you could ever fail. And you call upon your heart and God who lives within, and know that there's no way you could ever fail. You know that there's no way you could ever fail. When you sing your song, there's a power in the wind that will sail you home to the peace you know within. When you sing your song, all of nature will join in to bless you in your mission here on earth, to help you in your service here on earth. La da 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 da,
Thank you.
Good morning. That sounds pretty quiet to me. Let's get a little gusto and enthusiasm in that. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Well, we welcome you to Unity of Aliso, Viejo. My name is Randy Bogus, and it is my pleasure to be your platform assistant this morning, assisting you and our guest speaker, Mr. Charlie Thweet. We'll introduce him a little more in a moment. Well, you're welcome here at Unity regardless of your creed, color, ethnicity, age, socioeconomic background, sexual orientation, or disability. At Unity, we leave no one out. And if you feel left out, see me after class. And we'd like to say that you're here this morning not by accident, but by divine appointment. And we are so grateful that you kept your appointment this morning and you overcame the inertia of the morning news programs, got out of bed, and got here. It makes our day. Because as Reverend Margaret likes to say, it just wouldn't be the same without you. Unity offers a positive path for spiritual living that helps each of us express our divine potential for a healthy, abundant, and meaningful life. At Unity, we believe that we can make a positive difference in the world by the thoughts we hold, the words we say, and the actions we take in our daily lives. At Unity, we embrace all spiritual paths that bring people closer to God through love and understanding. And at Unity, our children are very important to our faith. And as each Sunday morning, our children are around in Suite 130, learning Unity principles through art and stories. We keep them in our hearts by sending them a special blessing. You are God's perfect child, and I love you just the way you are. Let's all say that together. You are God's perfect child, and I love you just the way you are. I think that's important for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's important that the kids hear that and know that we love them. But number two, it's an important affirmation for us, because I challenge any one of you to think that you always think you are God's perfect child. But keep that in mind, because it is an affirmation. So please remember our children and our youth education team in your prayers this week. And don't forget, there is still a wonderful child that lives within you and even within me. Okay, our guest speaker this morning, speaker and musician, is Mr. Charlie Thweet. Now, I had the pleasure of hearing Charlie this morning in the first service, so I really can say these words with great confidence, that Charlie brings a gift of warmth, humor, presence, and ease to any gathering. Now, he's been a favorite with Unity Group since the early 80s, when he left his chosen field of architecture and began working full-time in spiritual concerts and workshops. Now, Charlie has a talent for turning a room of strangers, now this is not a room of strangers, into a connected family by sharing his music, and it says here, his angelic voice. Now, before the service this morning, I said, Charlie, I'm a little uncomfortable with the word angelic. He said, well, you could say godlike. But he gave me a sample of his singing, and whether it's angelic or godlike, it gave me little chills, and I'm sure it will you this morning too. So Charlie, without any further introduction, I think we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. So we're all welcome here in spite of our color, creed, or sexual disability. Is that what you said? I might have heard that wrong. You didn't say that. Okay. Sorry. I just can't help myself sometimes. I've probably done this song here before, but I just love this. So this is a song where we get to play a little bit, and it's really the name of the song is "Feet on the Ground," and the principle behind this is, we're here learning these unity principles, these truth principles. But I'm going to ask you this: do you ever feel like sometimes maybe you keep these principles a little bit up in woo-woo land, and you like to really incorporate them more into your life more fully? Like just really ground them, really embody them. Well, for me, this song is about that, to really put our feet on the ground in these principles. So the words are very simple. It goes, put your feet on the ground, feet on the ground. And then after that, be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart. So it's pretty simple words. So if you'd like to have on your feet, I invite you to stand up if that works for you. And I'll get you guys, so everyone on your feet if you're comfortable doing that. And thank you, George. George is going to be our go-go dancer. And let me get you to rock to your right, to your left. Feel your feet connecting as we sing. Here we go. Put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. Feet on the ground. Sing that. Put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. Feet on the ground. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart again. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart and have connection. Be in my heart. Put your feet on the ground. Sing it. Put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. Feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. Okay, that was part one. Here comes part two. Remember, we're singing about connection, right? Are you here at Unity to connect? To have a sense of unity with each other? So I'd like to ask you to find a partner and hold their hands. So I'll give you a second to find somebody. So hold their two hands and look in their two eyes. Good. So I see three people standing in a line. So the idea is to look in somebody's eyes. So see if you can find somebody and hold their hands. And here we go. Let's sing. Put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. Put your
Okay, before you sit down, let's turn and give everybody a great big unity hug. Hug somebody you haven't hugged before. All right, if we can all take our seats right now, and since we've all hugged and everything, at Unity there's always a little bit of good news. So if you have any good news you would like to share, just raise your hand. We'll get the microphone to you. Good news, anyone? Vaughn's always got good news, even if it's no news.
The first silly good news is there is no bad news. That's good. And I just want to thank everybody's prayers. My recovery is moving right along. And I know that's due to a lot of prayer work and a lot of people caring. And so I'd like to thank you all for that. And that's my good news.
Anybody else? Bruce has some good news.
Well, you always hear in the morning that Unity welcomes everybody, including those from the lower end of the financial spectrum. My brother and I fall into that category big time. So he has been working. I'm retired military and then retired for a couple other jobs. And he's still working, and he was working at a job that was very taxing emotionally and physically, and making $12 an hour, which helped, but it didn't really help that much. But in the course of that job, he met a owner of a company that I don't know what it does exactly. It's legitimate. And he was so impressed with Glenn in dealing with him about his smashed car that he said, you know, I could use somebody like you. Do you have a resume? So he gave him a resume, and a man called him and said, how about meeting me at such and such? It turned out to be a bar. At 6 o'clock, I'd like to interview you. Well, he interviewed. He hired him on the spot to manage their accounts and be an office coordinator at $17.50 an hour in an air-conditioned building, which they're moving the company headquarters to a nicer location 5 minutes from our apartment. So wonderful news all around.
Thank you, Bruce.
Well, I have two pieces of good news. One is that my daughter Cindy, who has, most of you know, has metastatic cancer. She has been cancer clean for over a year. And she went to a wonderful new doctor a year ago, and she just had her yearly check on PET scan. And she's free of active cancer cells.
That's all good.
So that's wonderful. And then we've had the privilege of having our 18-year-old granddaughter stay with us this week. And it has been just absolutely wonderful. It's been so many years since we had a teenager in the house, and she's such a delight. So it was wonderful.
It's been so many years since I had a teenager in the house, and I'm glad to hear it's wonderful. Mark has good news.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with Vaughn. I don't think that there is no bad news. It's the least bit silly good news. It's great news. And my son is in San Diego today. He decided to visit Unity of San Diego and meet up with the kids department down there and chat with friends and stuff. So I'm here all by myself and having a great time.
Any other good news? One more.
Well, this isn't really good news for me, especially because my car is sick.
Oh.
The air conditioning won't work. And I took it in to have it looked at, and they can't find out what's wrong, so I'm driving in a hot car today. Other things are going wrong with it too. My brakes are going. My engine sounds rough. So pray for my car.
Marilyn.
I just wanted to say that the granddaughter that stayed with Jean and David was in a show last night called The Young Americans. And it was so fabulous, and it was so wonderful that I had to stay for both of them, both of the shows. And it was so wonderful to see young teenagers and children all different ages, channeling into such positive, wonderful experiences. It was beautiful. Thank you.
All right, if there's no further good news, Charlie will lead us now into a time of meditation.
I wonder if I might just share good news that happened with me. Last night I just got back from a 4-day trip to Houston where I grew up, and the object of this trip was to take my dad, who's almost 85, and to see Houston where he went to college, where we all grew up and had family, and to really probably his last time in Houston. And we did what we called the nostalgia tour, and just went for 4 days to all these different places, meeting friends that we'll probably see for the last time, that he will. But the highlight was getting to go to the house that he designed. He's an architect. And it's the first time he stepped into this house in 27 years. And just to get to go look at this beautiful house that he did. And the owners said they'd been trying to find him because they wanted to do some remodeling. So we thought we were dropping in for 20 minutes. We ended up staying an hour and a half and chatting and talking about every little detail. It was just the look on his face. He was just so happy to be in this house he had designed, hadn't seen for 27 years. So that was really good news. This whole trip was amazing. So, yeah, it's a wonderful life moment I got to spend with my dad these last 4 days. Okay, so we're going to use the song to go into a time of meditation. And this song is called I Am the Wind. And really, this came to me when I was on this little island off the coast of Sicily, and just feeling that I am presence in everything around me. In the wind and the sun and the water surrounding this little island, just feeling that presence of God, that I am presence. You probably know I am is another name for God. I am. So we're gonna feel that I am presence as we sing, and how in this song it's like God talking to you. And even as you're singing, or in your daily lives, just maybe even imagine that the trees are always singing, I am, or the rocks or the water you walk by, just always singing, I am to you. And that's what this is about. So let me invite you to close your eyes, and you'll get to sing on the chorus. Let's take a deep breath in. I am the wind, I am the sun, I am the water. I am the earth resting beneath you. Come lay your head, lean it on me, just let me hold you. You can relax, knowing I'm with you. So join me. I am the wind, the sun. I am the wind, I am the sun, I am the water, the earth. I am the earth resting beneath you. Sing me your song, I'd like to hear. Tell me your story. You're not alone in this journey. So I am the wind, the sun. I am the wind, I am the sun, I am the water. I am the earth resting beneath you. Come lay your head, lean it on me, just let me hold you. You can relax, sun. I am the earth resting beneath. Sing me your song, I'd like to hear. Tell me your story. You're not alone in this journey. I am the wind, I am the wind, I am the sun, I am the water. I am the earth resting beneath you. Once more, I am the wind. I am the wind. I am the sun. I am the water. I am the earth resting beneath you. Beneath. Beneath you. So we'll be in silence for a moment. Take a deep breath in. And just take a moment to feel that I am presence around us, within us. A moment to be still. Be still and know. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. And God is always calling us to be still, to feel the I am presence. Thank you, God, for that peace and that stillness which is always available as we stop to know the I am. And so it is. Amen. It's all a gift,
the light pouring down. It's all a gift when things come unwound. It's all a gift, the loving we learn. It's all a gift, the light we return. So I lead with my heart, the heart of my soul. I lead with my heart and give up control. I lead with my heart, shining within. When I lead with my heart, healing begins. Sing with that. When I lead with my heart, when I lead with my heart, healing begins. Healing begins. When I lead with my heart, healing begins. When I lead with my heart, healing begins. It's all a gift. It's all a gift. The light pouring down. The light pouring down. It's all a gift when things come unwound. When things come unwound. It's all a gift. The loving we learn. The loving we learn. It's all a gift. The light we return. The light we return. So I lead with my heart. So I lead with my heart. The heart of my soul. The heart of my soul. I lead with my heart and give up control. And give up control. I lead with my heart, shining within, shining within. When I lead with my heart, healing begins, healing begins. Keep singing. When I lead with my heart, healing begins. When I lead with my heart, healing begins. When I lead with my heart, healing begins. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, switching mics, right? We're not switching mics? It's not working. No? Okay, I'm going to walk over here. Should we check, anything to check on my end, or? Let's see. Not seeing a, oh, there's a light. Doesn't appear to be. It's on mic line. Well, it's all a gift. Should I just go to the stand up? Testing, testing. There we are. All right. It's all a gift. Super, thank you. Now if I can just clip it back. One moment, please. Help me. There we are. Okay. Well, hey there. Good morning. Is this kind of loud? Is this a little too loud? No? It's good? Okay. For the deaf, yeah. That other disability, huh? Okay.
Well, it's nice to be back. I haven't actually gotten to be a presenter in this space. The last 2 times I spoke, it was at the Holiday Inn, I think it was. Yeah, so it's nice to be here. Well, my talk today, it's called Finding the Gift Must Be Present to Win. Finding the gift must be present to win. And so we're going to look at several ways that we find gifts in our life, and also it's like a little different viewpoint on how we can see those in our lives. But first, I always like opening with a joke, so I have a new joke for you. And this is about 3 guys, a doctor, a lawyer, and an engineer, and they're all set to be executed at the guillotine. So already it's hysterical, right? So, but anyway, this is like in the Middle Ages, and so there's the whole scaffolding in the middle of the town square, and the executioner's up there on the scaffolding. And so it's a doctor, a lawyer, engineer. So it's the doctor's turn to go first. And as he steps up, the executioner says, "Well, you do have one choice, sir. You can do the traditional way, or you can turn around and face the blade. What would you like to do?" And he says, "I'll face the blade." So he puts his head in the block, and the executioner pulls the rope, and here comes the blade, except it stops right before his neck. There's some sort of miracle has happened. The executioner says, "It's obviously the hand of God has saved you. You are free to go." And the whole crowd murmurs like, "Oh, a miracle." So doctor, lawyer, engineer. So it's the lawyer's turn to go next. So he says, "I'll face the blade too." And he takes the rope, hauls it back up, puts his head in the block. He pulls the rope. Again, it stops just before his neck. Another miracle. The crowd murmurs, and he's declared free to go, a free man. Now it's the engineer's turn. "Well, I'll face the blade too." And he puts his head in the block. The guy reaches up to pull the rope, and just before he pulls it, the engineer says, "Oh, wait a second. I think I see the problem." So maybe he didn't see the gift in that situation. Finding the gift must be present to win. Well, the song I just sang to you, it came to me in an interesting way. I get to travel to Italy a lot. In fact, I'm traveling this coming October to co-lead a spiritual retreat in Assisi, where St. Francis is from. This is going to be my 47th time flying into Italy. And in fact, who would like to come to Italy with me in October? Was there a show of hands? Okay, well, there's a piece of paper on the back. But anyway, this particular trip, I'm in Sicily singing for a retreat on this little small island. And I just finished this exercise where my heart is just wide open. And I hear this voice. And I don't hear voices that often, but this was really a beautiful message I was hearing. And it simply said, "It's all a gift." And it kept repeating, "It's all a gift. It's all a gift. All of it. Every single bit of our lives, every single bit of it is a gift." And the more that I heard that voice, it dug deeper and deeper into me, where I was really feeling the truth of that. Everything is a gift. But it's really just for us to be able to see that. Can we be open? And in a way, I think every bit of life, it's for our soul's growth. And it doesn't always look like fun. It doesn't always look like what we want to look like. But all of it, if we could just shift our perception that all of it is a gift. It's all for our growth. And some of it may look very hard and not like a gift at all. I know that each of us, we all have our challenges and our deep, things that are disturbing to us. Can we shift to see the gift in it? There's a phrase we've probably often heard, and right now, if you look out at the world, there's so much turmoil, so many things happening both on a global scale and in our family lives, where we say, how can I see the gift in that? And often something that we'll hear said, and maybe we say it ourselves, is, why would God let that happen? Why would God let that happen? Well, that's kind of, I think it's presupposing that God is this white-haired man with a beard up in the sky, pulling the strings. Well, what if God instead is this field of love, this field of creative energy, creation energy? And it's really not about, why is God letting that happen? This is a world of free will. All these people are operating out of free will, and we can't control people's free will, can we? People are going to do what they're going to do. What we can control is how we react to what happens. Where do we go in our hearts whenever any situation confronts us? This is what we have the choice of. This is our free will, to interact with what's showing up in our lives. And what we're really here, the reason you're in this room is because I was thinking about this in the first service. Life is kind of black and white. You know, if everything were all light, if everything were going perfectly in our lives, you probably wouldn't find your way to a Unity church, would you? You come here because you need. Did you read the daily word? We didn't do did you? We didn't do it. So, well, in the first service he read, it was about faith. And the reason that we reach for faith is because we have challenges in our lives. We have hardships. Some part of us says there's got to be a better way. You know, some part of us says there has to be more going on. And we reach for those deep roots of faith to come back to, how can I tap into that place of peace in me to deal with the challenges of life? If it were all just easy, it'd be like, what if you went to a movie and nothing went wrong in the movie? You'd be bored, wouldn't you? Would you go to a movie where, okay, everything went right, now you walk out of the movie theater? It's like, well, that wasn't interesting at all. Wouldn't it be funny if we've actually set up our lives to make it interesting? You know, with the challenges? What if everything went right? That might not actually be any fun. So the reason we're in this room is to go deep in our roots of faith, to find that place of peace, to bring to these challenges. You know, each of us carries a place of total stillness and total peace in our hearts. But sometimes we're not connected to that. And the reason we're here is to remind ourselves to go deep, to find that place of total stillness, of total peace, that God self, that spirit self, that I am self. And that's why we're here. And that's the gift that we bring to every situation. The gift that's presented is that we are invited to come back to our total God connection in every moment. And we can either get lost in this world of separation, or we be reminded of our total connection to God, our God self, our place of total peace. I want to read something to you. And this is basically a paragraph. It's this long, and it's maybe one of the most powerful paragraphs I've ever come across in my life. And it's, some of you, I'm sure you've heard of A Course in Miracles. And this is the introductory paragraph to the Course. So you may have heard it 100 times. You may have never heard it. You may have never heard of A Course in Miracles. But there are many paths to truth. And I find this is a great kind of hand-in-hand path with unity. So I'm going to read this and just kind of look at, there's some very powerful things here that really apply to what we're talking about today. So how many of you are familiar with the Course in Miracles? How many of you have read the introduction before? A few of you. Okay, and some of you haven't. So so I'll just read and we'll talk a little bit about this. It starts out, this is A Course in Miracles. It is a required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. It means only you can elect what you want to take at a given time. And so what I'm hearing here is that, each of us as souls, there's a certain set of lessons we're all going to learn over the arc of time by the time all of this is over with. There are a certain set, and that's the curriculum. And you may learn it through unity, or through being a Buddhist, or a Catholic, or through A Course in Miracles, or whatever. But it's a curriculum that all souls will eventually learn. We don't get to choose the curriculum. This is what we're learning on our life, on our soul's journeys. And you might be working on a lesson I haven't learned yet, and vice versa. We don't, we can choose what we're working on, but not what the whole set is. And even A Course in Miracles said there are many paths. This is not one of these one-way Jesus things. And then it says the Course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It's like I can't teach you the taste of sugar. We're learning love through our own personal journeys. But and I love this next part. It does, however, aim at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence. And this is an amazing principle in life. There's really nowhere to go. Everything is right here. The presence of God is right here. But sometimes we put so many things as blocks between us and that awareness. And so really our life's journey is about removing the blocks, things that we're blocking to what's already ever present. About removing the blocks to love's presence. That's our journey. There's nowhere to go. Can we just come back to the truth that's right here? And then finally, it goes, and this is the final part, and I love this, and this is a little bit of a mind bender. It says, the opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. The first time I read that, it bent my mind around a corner. So there are opposites, but there aren't opposites. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. And what it's looking at is what the Course calls the two worlds. So there's the world of the illusion of separation, where you have the opposites, the dichotomy, the duality. The opposite of love is fear. So you have love, fear, good, bad, attack, defend, all of these parts that are aspects of duality. And the Course refers to that as the illusion of separation. We've got caught in the illusion that we're separate from each other, separate from God. This is an illusion. If you think that you're separate, you're caught in that illusion. So the opposite of love is fear, we'll say happens down here, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. And this is that place of oneness, that place of being with God, where we're totally connected to God, which we are, but we get lost in this thought that we're separate. So the opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. And then it finishes up by saying, this Course can therefore be summed up very simply in this way. Nothing real can be threatened. This connection with God, that's reality. That can't be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. This illusion of separation, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. When we really get that we're not separate, and our real reality that can't be threatened is our connection with God, with this oneness. And so, and this whole journey of life is about remembering that. If you noticed you're having thoughts of separation in your interactions with the people in your lives, or for me with the drivers on the highway, do you ever have thoughts of separation with them? Then that's a clue that you're off track. And to come back to realizing that we are connected, we are one. And the clever thing is that's the name of this church, isn't it? Unity. It's reminding us that we are one. Our oneness with God, our oneness with each other. So the opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. And the peace of God is found in remembering that nothing real, this place of oneness, cannot be threatened. We might think it can when we get into our lower minds, our ego minds, but nothing unreal exists, this illusion that we're separate. Herein lies the peace of God. And that's where we find the gift, is when we keep coming back to our oneness, keep coming back to connection with God, to who we are as spirit, to that I am presence that we were singing about earlier. That's where we find the gift in any situation. We are always carrying this place of peace in us, but often we put blocks that keep us from staying in that connection. So we take whatever steps we can, remove those blocks to the awareness of love's presence in any situation. That's why you're in this room, to remember that. And we come back to be reminded in many different ways. But any talk I'm giving, any talk that Reverend Margaret is giving, is to always bring us back to that connection with who we are. To remove those blocks, the awareness of who we are and how connected we are. And to find the gift in any situation by doing that. And that brings, the real gift is just coming back to peace, isn't it? And then that is the gift in any situation. It might look like different stories. You know, this happened, I came back to peace. And that was the gift that looks like all these different gifts. I want to share a couple of things that have happened to me where these gifts have shown up. And one of them is when I was, and it harkens all the way back to me in the 5th grade. And it wasn't until about 5 or 6 years ago I spotted, some gifts it takes sometimes many years to even see the gift in things. In this case, it's a simple little story. It was the day before Valentine's Day, and in our little class assignment in the 5th grade, we were told to start making Valentines, and so we did. It was artwork. Probably you're cutting up construction paper and decorations and such. And we didn't finish it the day before Valentine's, so the teacher said, take it home and work on it, finish it up, and just bring it back completed for Valentine's Day for your grade. which to me it's kind of funny they're even grading a Valentine card, but that's what was going on. So I brought it home, and I hadn't written anything in it, so I sat down. I thought what would be a fun, maybe 4 lines, and they came pretty quickly. And I remember looking at it thinking, oh, that's nice. And I finished the rest of it and folded it up and brought it back in. We all handed them in the next day. And so she's going through the stack of Valentine cards, and she gets to mine and opens it up and reads it. And she calls me up to the desk and says, Charlie, I'm sorry, I can't give you credit for this. You're not going to get a grade. And so what are you talking about? He says, well, obviously you copied this out of a Hallmark card. That you couldn't possibly have written this. I did. I wrote that. But no, there's no way I'm going to believe you. Now, I will admit I'd been kind of a character in class. I was always getting in trouble anyway, so I can understand why she might not have believed me. But and it's like, and I could never convince her. And there was this little pain in my heart, like, why doesn't she believe me? And it was years later I kind of remembered that. And I saw the gift. And for me, the gift was realizing, oh my God, what a compliment she was giving me. She was essentially telling me that as a 10-year-old, I was already writing at a professional level. Is that amazing? And that was a precursor to seeing this career that I was moving into as a songwriter, a speaker, doing creative writing. And it's already showing up as a 10-year-old. But I just took it as the slam. I was crushed and slammed to the ground, and later realizing, wow, what an acknowledgement. What acknowledgement that was. Another situation happened to me. It had to do with my car. I was up in Seattle, and they happened to get a big snowstorm in January, which is rare. And I was in a hurry, wake up really early Sunday morning to go give 2 talks at the Seattle Unity Church. So there's snow all over the place, white on the ground, white on the roads. It's barely even daylight, and actually it isn't even daylight. I'm driving on this road, and I don't know that there's a little dog leg in the road because everything's white. You can't see the stripes or the curbs or anything. I end up smashing right into like the front edge of this curb, and it just popped my front left tire. And here it is. It's like 7:30 in the morning, freezing cold, and suddenly I have a flat, and I'm trying to get to church. And I remember saying, God, what is the gift in this? What's the reason for this? Well, I pulled over the side of the road, changed, put on the spare, showed up to church a little bit late, but still in time with very black hands from my tires. And, got through the 2 services and the concert in the afternoon. Then afterwards, it's time to find a Sears store or some tire place. And I was finally at this one place, and the guy was helping me look, and we were looking at the tires and walked around. And he went around to this other back tire, and he said, sir, did you notice there's a big bubble coming out of this tire also? I said, no, I never saw that. And, I'd driven all the way up from California to Seattle, and I was going to be doing a very long drive back. And I realized, oh my God, he probably just saved me from a big blowout at 70 miles an hour. And I never would have known about that if I hadn't popped that other tire. It's like, God saved me. I think God saved me from a big accident through what looked like something you wouldn't want to have happen. It turns out, amazing gift. So we never know, often you can ask yourself, what is this for? What is this for? There must be something more going on. I want to start to close by reading another little quote from A Course in Miracles. And I love this. Imagine in any situation that you're in, and maybe you're upset, you don't know what's going on, and you could just say this to yourself, I could see peace instead of this. I could see peace instead of this. And that's calling us back to that place that we always carry. I could see peace instead of this. Let's say that together. I could see peace instead of this. Just take a moment just think about something that's current in your life. Maybe there's something that's current that's maybe a little upsetting to you, or that you're not seeing the gift in it yet. And just picture that. Hold a picture in your mind for a moment. And then say out loud, just say, I could see peace instead of this. Go ahead, let's say that. I could see peace instead of this. To come back to peace, to know there's some gift in this we're not seeing yet. I'm going to read 3 sentences from that lesson in the course. Peace of mind is clearly an internal matter. It must begin with your own thoughts and then extend outward. It is from your peace of mind that a peaceful perception of the world arises. You know, if you're starting with chaos here, or do you think you'll create peace out there? I don't think so. You kind of have to work from the start from the center and work out. When we find our peace, when we remove the blocks to the awareness of love's presence and operate from that, then we're going to start to create that from our center. I could see peace instead of this. Finding the gift must be present to win. Removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence. Knowing we're always carrying stillness and peace. And we remove the blocks to know that and bring that into every situation. That's the gift. That's the gift. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless. You know, another way of removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence is forgiveness. You know, forgiveness is another way of letting go in a situation, coming from, you know, sense of separation to connect. And forgiveness really does. That's like the journey to connection, to that oneness with each other. And this song is about that. It's saying every moment is an opportunity to do that. Everything's an opportunity to forget. Everything. Sing that with me. Everything's an opportunity to forget. Everything. It's a momentary choice, and I'm going through it constantly, remembering which voice will bring my joy to me. It's a momentary choice, and I'm going through it constantly, remembering which voice will bring my joy to me. Sing with me. Everything's an opportunity to forget. 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 It's a momentary choice, and I'm going through it constantly, remembering which voice will bring my joy to me. It's a momentary choice, and I'm going through it constantly, remembering which voice will bring my joy to me. Sing again. Everything's an opportunity to forget, and I forgive me. Everything's an opportunity to forget, and I choose peace. Everything's an opportunity to forget, and I forgive me. Everything's an opportunity to forget, and I choose peace. Thank you. Thank you. If I could say a couple more things. If we can go back to this mic? Thanks. Hey, you're on it. Couple of quick announcements. That last song is on a new CD. It just came out about 2 months ago. It's called Love Remains. I had an amazingly fun time putting this together. So the CDs are on the back table. The newest one before that, I Am the Wind. I have a little discount system where each CD is $4 less than one before, so like you can swipe your card or whatever. Let's see. This afternoon from 1 to 3, I think we're going to have a lunch the teens are doing. Is that right? I'd heard something like that. And then, sorry? A salad thing. So if you want to stay, we're doing a little concert from 1 to 3. So it'll be in this room. We'll have a lot of fun with music. I know several people are signed up already. And then lastly, I mentioned the Italy trip. So it's retreat and Assisi, and also an optional add-on tour if you want to go see Rome, Florence, and Venice with me and about 7 people. This will be I think I mentioned my 47th time flying into Italy. So I love showing people around. So if that's calling to you, it's in October, and there's a little flyer on my back table as well. So thank you so much. It's great being here. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, we thank you, Charlie, for your music and your message. It was a blessing to us, and you have quite a gift. This part of our service we call our celebration of abundance. The law of giving and the law of giving principle is understood by all spiritual traditions. We invite you to experience this principle in body, mind, and spirit. As you feel comfortable, please come forward and take an affirmation blessing from the crystal bowl. If you have a financial offering, and it certainly isn't required, please place it in the plate. If you do not have a financial gift, please come forward anyway and say a silent prayer of thanksgiving as you accept your blessing from the bowl. And now before you come forward, let us together say our offering blessing as printed in your bulletin. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. Amen.
Thank you, Charlie. We're going to do this a cappella today. We're going to bless our song using bless our offering using our offering song. So I invite you to sing with me now. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. And so it is. Thank you.
Do we have any newcomers here this morning? Well, if not, we'll assume that we do not need to do anything for newcomers. We bless all of the old timers who are here. Let's say this together. Instead of saying you are the light of the world, let's say we are the light of the world. We are the light of the world. We bless ourselves with all the love in our hearts, and our presence makes a difference. Thank you for all being here. And now as our service comes to a close, please join me in saying together our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And now let's all stand, join hands, and sing our closing song, Let There Be Peace on Earth.
It's about to be on, yeah. I'm in a giant cathedral right now. Are we good? Hallelujah. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Amen.